Lock in, bro. I don't know who you hang around. I don't know the type of people you're around. I don't know your circumstances. I don't know where you live. All I know is you need to lock in. How bad do you really want it? You want it as bad as you want to breathe. As cliche as that is, as much as everyone says it, I really just want you to, visualize that. I really want you to conceptualize that. I really want you to really think about that. Do you want it as bad as you want to breathe? Really think about that for a minute. Do you really want everything in life that you want as bad as you want to breathe? Now, if you're confused by that, I'll give you an example. So, when I was in 11th grade, I worked at McDonald's. I got out of school at like 2 p.m., right? And I had a shift from 3 p.m. all the way to 11 p.m., most of the times 12, okay? So what I used to do was, during the shift, I was in the back window taking people's orders. Now, our managers was pretty chill. So you think I was just fucking off, like playing, scrolling on my phone? No. I'm on my phone learning, constantly learning. What was I doing on my phone? Specifically, I was using an app called Zogo. I was learning about credit, finance, everything to do with money, because when I turned 18, I did not want to be confused how most people are when they turn 18. So I obsessed over credit. I learned credit back there. I got my mindset right. I was watching YouTube videos, podcasts, just doing everything I can do to become the best version of myself, to maximize my potential of becoming successful. I even started learning Spanish, and I still do, right? I even started learning Spanish because I just wanted to do hard things, right? That's another thing. Rewire your brain. Rewire your brain. If to want it as bad as you want to breathe, you have to instill something called delayed gratification. Now, what delayed gratification is? Delayed gratification is putting in an input knowing that the desired output comes over time, right? For example, you going to fast food just because it's fast food, right? You get it instantly, but what is it? It's unhealthy. It makes you bloated. It gives you pimples, right? You cooking at home is delayed gratification. In the moment, you may not feel like cooking this, that, and the third. It may not feel as good, but you're gonna have clear skin. You're gonna have mental clarity. You know, you're gonna be in shape if you put in work in the gym as well. You know what I mean? So delayed gratification is another thing you need to instill in your mindset. You know what I mean? And that really just comes down to how bad do you really want it. You only live once. Stop thinking there's a redo. You're not a fucking cat from a movie, bro. You don't have 9 lives. You have one. You need to become a fucking, as I like to say, a try-hard at life. Become a try-hard at life, bro. You know what I mean? Maximize your hygiene. Maximize your physique. Maximize your income. Maximize your mindset. Become a try-hard at life, bro. You only live once. I cannot stress this enough. Do not go through life being told what to do by society. Being average. Nothing is cool about being average. This channel is not for anyone who's looking to be average. So if you want to be average, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. It's not for you. If you want to be fat with gelatinous titties, get the fuck off my page, bro. This page is for men who want to defy the odds, who want to do the fucking impossible to the mass, to the majority, but not to us. Over here, we maximize our physique. We maximize our hygiene. We maximize our mindset. Why? Because we see something more for ourselves than everyone else does. We see more than temporary fun. You need to see more than temporary fun, okay? Chasing women, going to parties, constantly drinking your life away. You need to find the root cause of why you're doing that, right? You do not chase happiness. The only way for a man to truly be happy, the only way a man will truly be happy is chasing purpose. You need to chase purpose. Fuck pleasure. Do not chase pleasure. Chase purpose, bro. Do what's hard. Do what's uncomfortable. You may not feel great in the moment, but you will feel a natural high. I can't even explain it. Every single day, I write down on my daily checklist something I need to do for the business, something I need to do for the physique, just something I need to do in general. Even if I don't feel like doing it and I follow through with that, bro. You know how that feels, bro? You know how that feels, bro? I kid you not, I'm high off life. Fuck a drug, I'm high off life. Every single day I put in the work. Every single day I do something that I told myself I'm going to do. I'm high off life. And that's the same for you, bro. You know? Get a notebook, bro. Write down your 5 long-term goals. I call this my Elite 5 process, bro. My Elite 5 blueprint. Same thing. Look, I want you to grab a notebook. The first 5 sentences, I want you to write your long-term goals, okay? We're not talking about income. We're not talking about, like, you can control that, obviously, but things you can't control, bro. No, we're talking about input-based goals only, right? So I want you to write down 5 input-based goals. Now, what you're going to do with that 5 input-based goals is underneath that, what I specifically do is I write a process. Now, you know, in this space, it's a lot of people who tell you, oh, you don't need to wake up early. Oh, no cold shower, this, that, and the third, right? It's not going to make you money. It's not going to build your mindset. That's a lie, bro. That's a lie, bro. You know, every time you hear someone say that, I want you to look at them. I just want you to look at them, bro. Even if they're successful money-wise, they're not in shape. They don't love themselves. Okay? We love ourselves over here. So what I want you to do is, you know, wake up early, bro. Why? Because I know you don't want to wake up early. I personally don't want to wake up early, but I'll wake up early every fucking day. Why? Because I don't want to. Whenever you do something you don't want to do, there's literally something in your brain. I can't think of the name. Every time you do something hard, every time you do something you don't want to do, it literally fucking grows. Kid you not. It literally grows. Not literally, but it grows, if you get what I mean. Like, it becomes more ironed. It gets a thicker shell. You need to do the uncomfortable. You need to do the hard. So me personally, what I like to do under my 5 long-term input-based goals, I have a morning daily routine, right? Because it's going to launch me into the day with momentum of, okay, I listen to myself. I do what I say I'm going to do. And that builds my confidence even more, bro. That's where confidence comes from. Confidence comes from beating lust as well as doing what you say you're going to do. That's how you build your confidence. Confidence is not just handed to you. You have to work for it. You have to build it. So then you want to write, for example, I wake up at 5 a.m. because I don't feel like it, right? Then I use the restroom and I weigh myself. Why? Because I'm currently bulking. So I use the bathroom and I weigh myself so that everything is flushed out my system and I can have an accurate, you know, score of my weight or whatever, right? Then after that, I do a daily morning stretch. Why do I do a daily morning stretch? I do a daily morning stretch because when I'm old, I don't want to have like bad hips and stuff. I know y'all know about like old people, like their hips go bad, things of that nature, right? I don't want to be one of those people. I don't want to be average in any realm of life. I'm going to try hard at life. So I do that. And then I take a cold shower, you know. The reason I take a cold shower is because it's hard. It's something I don't want to do, okay? Enough about me. And the list, just do things you know that over a consistent basis are good for you, but you know damn well on a daily basis you're not going to want to do. Why? Because you need to build a callus around your mind, bro. Building a callus around your mind is one of the fundamentals of becoming successful, okay? So after that, now every day you don't have to write your input-based goals, right? But every day you do need to write the morning routine, okay? And then under that, you need to put daily actionable tasks that help you get to your goals. So they need to be input-based tasks, right? Now, whichever one has the highest ROI, put first and then work your way down, okay? And you want to do this every single day, and I promise you, as long as you stay disciplined, you literally stick to it every single day, you will reach your goal, bro. Lock in. Stop going to parties. Stop chasing hoes. Stop chasing lust. Lust leaves you drained. Your seed is energy. Just don't be giving it to just any girl, bro. And if you're releasing it yourself, that's even worse. Like, don't be doing that. The more seed you hold, in the least cringiest way possible, the more seed you hold, I promise you, the more aura you have. And all aura really is confidence. You know, the more you hold out, the more confidence you will have. I promise you. I promise you. You don't want to reach that age, right? If you're in your 20s, you don't want to hit your 30s, 40s, 50s, or, you know, even for my older guys out there, if you're in your 30s, you don't want to hit your 40s, 50s, and so on and so on, depending on how old you are. This channel is for everyone. We're all trying to get better at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? No one's better than no one. We all die. You know what I'm saying? Just had to put that in there. You don't want to get to that age and, like, feel regret. You don't want to be like, damn, I didn't put it all on the line. I didn't do enough. I settled for the life I have. I hate my life. Believe it or not, a lot of people live that way. Why? Because they didn't callous their mind. They didn't do hard things. They didn't do the things they know they were supposed to do to reach their goal only because of a temporary feeling. Okay? You have to learn. Emotions are just emotions. You need to look at emotions through a third point perspective. Right? Literally, I want you to look. I want for here on out, look at emotions as a third person perspective. Either when you're happy, sad, mad, I don't care what emotion you have. Look at it from a third point perspective. And what I mean by that is, say you're sad, right? But say you still have things you have to do in the day to get to your goals, even though you're sad, right? You need to look at that from a third person perspective, and you need to view that as your soul, right? No. Just look at I want you to look at it as you're a robot and your body is just doing what you know you're supposed to do. And your mind is trying to play tricks on you to veer you off the path. Okay, that's all emotions is. It's just something to either veer you off the path or veer you on the path. Okay? And that can go for happiness, sadness, anything, anger, anything, because happiness can get you off the path as well. You can be so happy that, oh, you're like, you can be so happy, high off life in the moment, you know, having a whole bunch of dopamine triggers, and you're like, oh, now I want to scroll on social media, now I want to scroll on TikTok. Why? Because you want to get more dopamine rushing in. Little do you know, whenever you go on social media, you're scrolling through emotions. You're scrolling through emotions. Think about it. This is another thing. You need to limit your time on social media. Why? You're scrolling through emotions. Now, let me break down what I mean. Think about it. Let's say you're on Instagram. You scroll. You see an ad for a children's hospital cancer kid, and he's saying, please help out his life and donate. That's sad, right? Think about it. Now you're that's triggering sadness in your brain, right? Scroll. You see like a bop on your timeline doing something crazy. That brings lust. Scroll. You see a successful person bought another supercar. You're either going to feel envious, anxious, or you're going to feel like happiness, gratitude, or I mean, it's a whole bunch of emotions you can feel from seeing something like that, right? It's another emotion right after sadness, like back to back. That's not good. Scroll. You're literally scrolling through emotions, and then you wonder why when you get off social media, you have an undescribable feeling of how you feel. It's because you're literally scrolling through emotion. That's why you need to limit consuming short form content. Lock in. You need to get real dopamine. Get real dopamine from running, from working out, from improving yourself, from reading books, from getting more knowledge. This is how you articulate yourself better. You put your head down and you read a book for 10 minutes a day. You know? I don't get it, man. Especially my generation, like, people just not locked in. They think life is a joke. They think, you know, especially people who went to college, they just, I don't know, like they're so caught up in the party lifestyle, the college lifestyle, stuff like that. I mean, college is worth it for some people, no doubt, but a lot of people, it just leaves them in debt. It leaves them drained, you know, it leaves them unhappy. They walk out of college being fat because they were going to every single party consuming alcohol. You know, and then they get a job they don't even like. Boom, hate their life. Then they think their life's over. Your life's never over, bro. That's why you need to lock in. You don't want to be like the other 99%. 99% of people don't like themselves. They're not proud of themselves. They haven't accomplished anything significant. Lock in, man. I'm going to keep it short and sweet today off the dome, man. If you're new, welcome to my channel. It's my first video. There'll be more like this to come. I appreciate y'all.